Okay, so we've got a ton of articles and research
Yeah.
all about AI and audiology.
Yeah.
And I think, it feels like every week
Mm-hmm.
there's some new tech that's supposed to like revolutionize everything.
It does feel that way.
So we're going to deep dive into all of this and like cut through the hype,
Yeah.
figure out what's actually important for you guys.
Yeah. What I think is fascinating is like they all kind of point to the same thing,
Okay.
which is that there's this convergence happening, right?
Okay.
It's not just about hearing aids anymore. It's about hearables too.
Yeah.
And AI is kind of blurring the lines there in some really interesting ways.
Yeah. I'm always curious about like the practical side of things.
Yeah.
So what does this convergence actually mean for how we work,
Right.
how we serve our patients?
Well, I think the first thing to look at is the market itself, right?
Okay.
So some of these sources you sent me were projecting that the hearables market is going to grow almost 12% year
Wow.
through 2028.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's massive, and it's being driven by these features that consumers want, fitness
Yeah.
tracking and noise cancellation,
Yeah.
like all the bells and whistles.
So it's not just like audiophiles or the early adopters anymore. It's like
Right.
becoming mainstream.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting for us,
Okay.
is that you're seeing traditional hearing aid companies recognizing this.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not just competing with these hearables.
Right.
They're incorporating those AI-powered features into their products, too.
It's like they're realizing they can't just like
Right.
stay in their lane anymore.
Exactly.
They've got to appeal to this like broader consumer base who wants it all in one.
That's right.
So it's really interesting.
Yeah, you've got companies like, your Apples and your Sonys who are really leading the charge in the hearables market.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at what some of these big, audiology players are doing, like Starkey Hearing,
Mm-hmm.
GN Group,
Yeah.
WS Audiology,
Yeah.
Sonova, Demant, like they're all,
Yeah, they're not messing around.
yeah, they're not just keeping up, they're actually innovating.
Right. And some of these partnerships and acquisitions are crazy.
Yeah.
Like Sony partnering with WS Audiology,
Yeah.
Sonova acquiring Sennheiser.
Uh-huh.
It's like they're taking this fusion of hearables and hearing aids
Yeah,
very seriously.
absolutely. And then you've got companies like Bragi,
Okay.
which is really a pioneer in the hearables space,
Mhm.
working with Starkey Hearing. And that really suggests to me that we're kind of moving towards a future
Okay.
where hearing devices aren't just for people with hearing loss.
Right.
They're like everyday personal communication accessories
I like that.
for everybody.
Okay, that's a big shift.
It is a big shift.
But let's get down to like the heart of it here. AI.
Right.
How is it actually changing the game in these devices?
Well, I think AI is enabling what we've always wanted in audiology, which is
Yeah.
a truly personalized listening experience.
Yeah.
So imagine this, right? You've got AI algorithms that are analyzing not just your hearing profile,
Right.
but your environment
Yeah.
in real time. And it can filter out background noise, boost speech clarity,
Yeah.
all on the fly.
So it's not just about like amplification anymore.
Yeah.
It's about like intelligent sound processing that adapts to every
Yeah,
like situation.
exactly. And then on top of that, think about this.
Okay.
These devices are now able to track health metrics,
Okay.
like heart rate, sleep patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them can even detect like subtle changes in your hearing
Wow.
that you yourself might not even notice.
It's almost like having a mini audiologist
Right?
in your ear like 24/7.
I love that analogy.
Just like keeping tabs on your hearing health.
Yeah, so let's make this real, right? Let's
Yeah.
bring in some real world examples to kind of illustrate how this plays out for different people.
Okay, perfect.
So let's start with Carlos,
Okay.
our busy young professional.
I like Carlos already.
Yeah.
I can relate.
So imagine him in his day. He's jumping from, work calls to a workout.
Yeah.
Then he's going to a noisy restaurant for dinner.
Oh, yeah. I can picture it.
With older devices, he'd be constantly fiddling with the settings.
Oh, for sure. Getting frustrated.
Yeah, totally. But now his AI-powered hearables are doing the work for him,
Okay.
right? So they're seamlessly adjusting the sound for each environment.
Wow.
So they're prioritizing speech clarity in that meeting,
Mm-hmm.
boosting the bass during his workout,
Okay.
and then filtering out the restaurant chatter so he can focus on his friend's voice.
So it's not even just about better hearing then.
Right.
It's about like a smoother,
Yeah,
less stressful experience overall.
exactly. Now let's switch gears to Sophia.
Okay. Sophia.
She's starting to notice a little bit of mild hearing loss,
Mm-hmm.
but she's maybe a little hesitant about traditional hearing aids.
Okay. I'm seeing a lot of Sophias in my practice
Yeah,
these days.
right.
They're drawn to the tech, but maybe not ready to admit that they need hearing aids yet.
Totally. But here's the thing. The AI in Sophia's new hearables
Mm-hmm.
is detecting those subtle changes in her hearing patterns.
Oh,
It doesn't diagnose,
right.
but it gently suggests, hey, maybe you should have this checked out.
Interesting.
And it could even connect her with some teleaudiology options
Oh, wow.
for a quick assessment.
So it's like a nudge in the right direction
Exactly.
without being pushy or making her feel self-conscious.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, now let's look at Juan,
Okay, Juan.
who has moderate hearing loss and has been using hearing aids for years.
Okay.
He's tech-savvy, and he wants the latest and greatest.
Juan is probably frustrated with the limitations of those older devices,
He is.
especially in those complex environments
Absolutely.
where it's hard to hear.
But his new AI-powered hearing aids are a game changer.
Okay.
They can read his notifications aloud.
Oh, wow.
They can provide personalized environmental amplification.
Mm-hmm.
And they can even offer tailored auditory rehabilitation exercises
Why?
through an app.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a whole other level of control and personalization.
So it's like AI is empowering him to not just hear better,
Mm-hmm.
but to actively manage his hearing health.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so exciting about this
Yeah.
is that we're seeing how AI is transforming the experience for all these different types of users.
Totally. I was just thinking about that. This all sounds amazing
Right.
for the users,
Yeah.
but for me as an audiologist, what does it mean for my practice?
Yeah.
How do I adapt to this
Yeah.
AI-driven world?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
And I think, a lot of these articles you sent really touch on that.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that's clear is that the business model of audiology is being disrupted.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
For sure.
But I think it's important to see it as an opportunity, not just a challenge.
Okay. I'm all ears.
Okay.
Tell me about this disruption.
Okay, so tell me about this disruption. What are we seeing in terms of how these AI-powered devices are changing the business landscape?
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I'm seeing and that a lot of these articles are talking about is a shift away from that purely transactional model.
Yeah,
The patient comes in,
Right.
they get a hearing aid,
right.
they come back for a few adjustments,
Yeah,
and that's it.
exactly. We're moving more towards a service-oriented approach.
So it's less about just selling a product
Right.
and more about building that long-term relationship,
There's a patient.
providing that ongoing support and value.
I think that's a key point, right?
Yeah.
And, a lot of these articles highlighted how subscription services are becoming really popular.
Yeah.
And so it's not just about, buying the device. It's about bundling that device with ongoing support,
Mm.
software updates,
Yeah.
personalized care plans.
Yeah. I can see that being appealing to patients,
Yeah.
especially with all this new tech.
Yeah,
It's like having a tech support
Yeah.
team for your hearing, which can be
absolutely.
reassuring.
And I think it also aligns with how people consume technology today.
Yeah.
You think about music streaming services or software subscriptions.
Mm.
It's becoming the norm.
It is.
But I think this also means that, we as audiologists need to rethink how we structure our services and our pricing.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm grappling with.
Yeah.
How do you price a subscription that includes all these ongoing
Let's see.
services?
Yeah.
How do you make sure you're getting compensated fairly
Right.
for your time and expertise?
These are all questions that I think the industry is still figuring out, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Some clinics are experimenting with different models.
Yep.
Maybe they're doing tiered subscriptions based on the level of support,
Yeah.
or unbundling certain services, or incorporating remote care options.
Okay.
It's a learning process for all of us.
It is. And speaking of remote care, teleaudiology is another big theme
Yeah.
that comes up in these
Yeah,
articles.
for sure.
How is AI impacting that?
Yeah. Well, I think AI is making teleaudiology even more powerful and accessible.
Okay.
So imagine using AI-powered tools for remote hearing assessments, or even fine-tuning some settings remotely.
Yeah, that's incredible. It could really expand
It could.
access to care, especially for people in rural areas.
Yeah,
Or those who just have difficulty getting to a clinic.
absolutely. And I think it also opens up possibilities for reaching new patient populations.
Okay.
Maybe those who wouldn't traditionally seek out hearing help.
Okay. Like who?
So think about, younger folks who are more tech savvy, who are comfortable with virtual care, and who are attracted to these advanced features.
Okay, so you're saying teleaudiology
Yeah.
increases access?
Yeah.
But I've got patients who are not tech savvy.
Right.
How do we bridge that gap?
Yeah.
Is this leaving some people behind?
I think that's a great point, and I think, teleaudiology isn't a magic solution,
Yeah,
and we can't assume that everyone is comfortable with technology. I think we still need that in-person connection,
Okay.
especially for patients who need extra support
Yeah.
or have more complex needs.
for sure.
So I think it's about finding the right balance, right?
Yeah.
Using teleaudiology strategically to expand our reach,
Yeah.
but still providing that personalized in-person care when needed.
So it's about finding that right balance.
Exactly.
Like educating our patients on the different options
Right.
and making sure they feel comfortable,
Yeah.
whatever approach we're taking.
I think building trust is key now more than ever.
It is. Okay, so we've got subscription models.
Yeah.
We've got teleaudiology.
Mhm.
All these changes happening. What does this all mean for me as an audiologist?
Right.
How do I adapt and thrive in this environment?
Well, I think one of the things that these articles really emphasize
Yeah.
is continuous learning and professional development, attending conferences, taking online courses, staying up to date with the latest technology and research. I think that's crucial.
Okay, so it's not just about like acquiring knowledge then.
No, it's about a mindset shift.
Okay, what kind of mindset shift are we talking about?
I think we need to embrace being lifelong learners,
Okay.
being adaptable and open to new ways of doing things. We need to become comfortable with technology, understand how AI works,
Okay.
and be able to evaluate new tools
Yeah.
and integrate them into our practice.
So it sounds like we need to be more tech savvy than ever before.
Absolutely. But I think it's not just about being tech savvy.
Okay.
It's about being critical thinkers.
So, okay.
We need to be able to evaluate the claims that are being made about these AI-powered devices.
Right.
Understand their limitations.
Yeah.
And ensure that they're truly benefiting our patients.
So it's about being like a discerning consumer of tech,
Exactly.
not just blindly adopting whatever is new and shiny.
That's right. And I think communication skills become even more important.
Oh.
We need to be able to explain these complex technologies to our patients in a way that they understand. We need to be able to address their concerns, build trust, and guide them through this evolving landscape.
So it's not just about the technical expertise then.
It's not.
It's about being educators,
Yeah.
counselors, advocates
I love that.
for our patients.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
But I also see the potential.
Yeah.
Like if we embrace these changes,
Right.
we can offer like more personalized, more accessible, more comprehensive care than ever before.
Absolutely. And let's be honest, audiology has always been a dynamic field.
Yeah.
We've always had to adapt to new technology and advancements.
It's true.
This is just the latest chapter in that evolution.
So we've talked a lot about the practical side of things.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to hear your personal take.
Okay.
What excites you the most about this like convergence of AI and audiology? So we've talked a lot about the practical side of things, but I'm curious to hear your personal take. What excites you the most about this like convergence of AI and audiology?
What really gets me fired up is the potential to just elevate the human experience of hearing.
Okay.
We're moving beyond just simply amplifying sound.
Right.
We're talking about creating a listening experience that's personalized, seamless, and even predictive.
Predictive. That sounds futuristic.
It is futuristic, and actually one of the sources that you sent dives into this concept called neurointuitive amplification,
Okay.
which I think really highlights this potential.
Okay.
So imagine a device that doesn't just react to your environment,
Okay.
but it actually anticipates your hearing needs before you even realize them.
Okay. Now that's a game changer. How does that even work?
Well, it's all about AI analyzing patterns.
Okay.
So it's looking at your listening habits, the environments that you frequent, even physiological cues like heart rate and brain activity.
So it's like the AI is getting to know you,
Yeah.
understanding your unique needs and preferences.
Exactly. Like, let's say you walk into a bustling cafe
Okay.
and you're about to order your coffee.
I love coffee.
Before you even register that it's noisy, your hearables equipped with this neurointuitive amplification
Okay.
have already identified the barista's voice
Oh, wow.
and are prioritizing those frequencies.
So it's not just about noise cancellation then.
It's not.
It's about selectively amplifying the sounds that are most important
Exactly.
to you in that moment.
Exactly. And this is all happening seamlessly, dynamically, constantly adapting as you move through your day.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But how does this benefit the user beyond just a smoother listening experience?
Well, think about it this way, right? With traditional devices, even with sophisticated features, there's still a cognitive load.
Mm,
You're constantly adjusting filtering, trying to make sense of the soundscape.
right. Takes effort.
It does.
Uh-huh.
But with neurointuitive amplification, that effort is reduced.
Okay.
Your brain isn't working as hard, which can reduce listening fatigue and improve overall well-being.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like the device is taking care of all the heavy lifting,
Yes.
so you can just focus on what matters, engaging with people, enjoying music, just being present.
Exactly. And think about the potential applications beyond just hearing loss.
Okay, where else could this go?
You know, neurointuitive amplification could benefit anyone who wants a more tailored and less fatiguing listening experience,
Okay.
especially in those challenging environments.
So like students, musicians,
Absolutely.
anyone who relies on like critical listening?
Anyone.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's really about optimizing the way we hear and interact with the world around us.
I like it. Okay, so we've got this incredible technology on the horizon.
We do.
But I think the question that's on everyone's mind is how do we as audiology professionals prepare for this future?
That's the question I get asked all the time. And honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Okay.
But if I had to boil it down to a few key things, it would be embrace lifelong learning, cultivate a tech-savvy mindset, and stay engaged with the ethical considerations of AI.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. Lifelong learning. I know we've touched on that, but what specific areas should we be focusing on?
I think data literacy is huge.
Okay.
We need to understand how to interpret the data that these AI systems generate,
Right.
how to extract meaningful insights from it, and how to use it to inform our clinical decisions.
So it's not just about understanding the technology.
No.
It's about understanding the data that drives it.
Exactly. And of course, staying up to date on the latest research and advancements in AI is crucial.
Right.
There are tons of resources out there, professional organizations, online courses, conferences.
Yeah.
We need to be proactive about seeking out that knowledge.
And what about cultivating a tech-savvy mindset?
Yeah.
What does that actually look like in practice?
It's about being curious about technology, being willing to experiment with new tools and platforms,
Hmm.
and not being afraid to ask for help when needed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of support out there. Online forums,
Yeah.
peer groups, mentors.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't have to figure this out alone.
It's about being comfortable with the unknown,
Yeah.
being adaptable,
Yes.
always willing to learn.
Absolutely. And then finally, the ethical considerations.
Yes, this is a big one.
We can't afford to ignore this as AI becomes more integrated into our field.
And these technologies do raise a lot of important questions
They do.
about privacy bias,
Yeah.
the potential impact on the patient-clinician relationship.
Absolutely. We need to be actively engaged in these conversations,
Oh,
advocating for responsible development and use of AI,
Hmm.
and ensuring that our patients' best interests are always at the forefront.
So it's about being thoughtful and proactive,
Yes.
not just letting the technology dictate how we practice.
Exactly. And remember, at the end of the day, technology is just a tool.
It is.
It's up to us as audiologists to use it wisely and ethically to enhance the lives of our patients.
Well said. I think that's a great note to end on.
Mm.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, the convergence of AI and audiology, the opportunities and the challenges it presents, and the importance of staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and hopefully we've left you with a sense of excitement and empowerment.
Yeah.
The future of audiology is bright, and AI has the potential to truly transform the way we deliver hearing healthcare.
I completely agree. So to all the audiology professionals out there listening, embrace the change, stay curious, and never stop learning. The future is ours to shape.
That's right.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it informative and inspiring. Until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating.